I didn't take a whole lot of notes for this one, and if you saw the game, you know exactly why. Dream lose 50-70 to the Washington Mystics. Let's talk about the game, I guess. To start us off, Washington head coach Mike Tebow is not participating in this game, so his son Eric Tebow will be stepping in for the time being. Tiffany Hayes is still out, and on top of that, Monique Billings was still out due to COVID protocols, and Erica Wheeler was listed as probable with a lower body injury. That's bad enough as it is, but Washington has Alina Deladon back. That is not good. Another chance to test the Dream's perseverance, I guess, and what a test it was. Fortunately, Erica Wheeler started the game. I mean, that was a good sign, at least at first anyway. Early on, Atlanta made it to their end of the court just fine, but they kept getting forced to make passes and plays outside of the arc. Much like with the last game, the Mystics were really crowding the paint and taking away a lot of options for the Dream inside to move the ball, and they're forcing turnovers with ease. They're forcing the Dream to take shots at bad angles or through coverage, so a lot of shots that should go in are just short of the net, especially a lot of shorter chip shots. Fortunately, Parker and Wheeler started forcing turnovers of their own, but Washington had an answer for just about everything. Ryan Howard was just being denied all quarter long. Big reason why Washington went on a 7-0 run late in the first, broken up only by a three-pointer by Ari McDonald. A rare moment in this corner where Atlanta can actually do something with the time and space that they have. Ari scores one more three, but it just doesn't stop the bleeding. The only thing that does stop the bleeding is the end of the first quarter, 21-13 Mystics. Natasha Cloud had 5 assists that quarter. That made it her 5th straight game with 5 or more assists, and she did it in just one quarter here. Meanwhile, Howard hasn't scored once. A minute and a half into the second quarter, Atlanta commits their 9th turnover in the game. Washington only had 4 up to that point. But all is not lost. It's apparently Atlanta's turn to do some suppressing. 4 minutes in, the Mystics hadn't scored yet, but the Dream had been slowly climbing back up, getting some critical free throws and just kind of slowly chipping away inside the paint. Erica Wheeler tied the game 21-21. Washington was still defending pretty well, but Atlanta was doing a pretty decent job finding some gaps. They made a 10-0 run until Ariel Atkins finally scored the first Mystics points of the quarter, 6 minutes in. This gave us a little bit of hope going in here. Hope that, well, you saw the game, you know what's up. Washington made a comeback of their own, going on a 13-2 run over the last 4 minutes of the half, maximizing their time in their own zone and drawing a lot of fouls. The Dream were showing some signs of life here and there, but if they wanted to stay in this, they need to bring back whatever the hell they brought in the first half of the quarter. They had 0 blocks after the half. Washington had 4 of them. Ryan Howard still has 0 points at all, and the rest of the team is really feeling that sting. I didn't take a whole lot of notes for the third quarter. Whatever the Dream had to start the second, they just couldn't bring it. Washington is controlling absolutely everything, and it took Atlanta 4 minutes to score for the first time this quarter. To make matters even worse, Mia Coffey may have embellished on an offensive foul by Washington. Maisha Hines-Allen makes a hell of a block on what would have been a certain 2 points for Ryan Howard, and just looking like a boss while she's at it. Is this the face of someone who looks like they give a damn to you? Washington is drawing fouls on offense and shot clock violations on defense. They're just doing whatever the hell they want out there. 2 minutes left, they go on a 7-0 run, not necessarily piling on a ton of points, but they're definitely preventing Atlanta from doing much of anything. A short burst of offense in the final minute. I think the Dream may have scored 2, but I really don't remember, and I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. 54-33 Washington to end the third. In the fourth quarter, the Dream just cannot stay out of foul trouble on either side of the court. Alina Deladon records her 4,000th career point and is the 40th player in WNBA history to do so. So there is a positive over here. It's just, unfortunately, it's not on our side. But hey, much congratulations to Alina Deladon. Definitely a future Hall of Famer, and she's accomplished just about everything else there is to accomplish in her career. And she still has so much more to go. Atlanta gets some momentum, but Washington's defense has just been smothering them all night long, and former Dream player Elizabeth Williams is making highlight reel blocks. Washington is moving the ball any way they want to, all over the court, even when they have no space at all. There wasn't really anything else noteworthy for the rest of this quarter. Dream lose 70-50. Ryan Howard played 28 minutes, and she scored no points. Just zeros, donuts all over the stats column. How? I don't know. I guess she's human after all. But I'm not going to pin this entirely on her, though. Washington was shutting down everybody. You could have put just about anybody on this defense, and they probably wouldn't have done any better. More depressing stats. The Dream set a franchise record for fewest points in a game. They had 58 shot attempts, which is 8th fewest in team history, 6th fewest shots made, ninth most turnovers. But not to end this on a completely sour note here, with 2 steals apiece, Ryan Howard had the most steals in Atlanta Dream history to start a career through 7 games. She has 11, and Chrissy Wallace is third. She has 9. These stats are courtesy of ENFP Dream Fan, who you really should be following on Twitter if you aren't already. Now, before this game started, I saw some people questioning how much the return of Tiffany Hayes, whenever that may be, will be affecting the team's flow. Some wondering if it's even a good thing to put her in, thinking that it might, disrupt the good things that this team has done. Well, after this game, I gotta wonder what those same people are thinking now. If ever there was a time that we needed a veteran presence on this team, this is it. The next game is Sunday at home versus the Phoenix Mercury, who are 2-4 so far. And at this point, who the hell knows what to expect? But I'll be there, maybe a little bit late, but I'll definitely be there, and I'll see you then.